Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 25th to the 31st of July 2022. So we have two things going on this week. We've got the new moon in Leo on Thursday, and we've got Jupiter turning retrograde on Friday. So looking first at the new moon in Leo, that means that the sun and moon are together. That's 5 degrees Leo for anybody that's following along. Look where that is in your chart regarding other planets and which house it's in order to be able to capture and harness the energy personally for you. So we've got the sun, moon and Mercury all in Leo at the moment. And Leo is the lion heart. It's where we can centre on passion and amplify that outwards. It's very strong for manifesting. It's a very warm and sociable and radiant energy. So at this time of the year we've got the hottest days in the UK, but the light is beginning to fade as we've gone past the summer solstice, the day of longest daylight hours. So it's kind of sultry and warm, sociable and lazy, creative, golden and expansive. General energies of Leo there, and 5 is also the number of Leo, the 5th sign of the zodiac. So it's like the 5-pointed golden star. Radiate and shine and create and grow. But actually the feeling of this week is much more Aquarian. So Aquarius is opposite Leo, and we have during this new moon we've got a square to Uranus and an opposition to Saturn, and both Uranus and Saturn are the new and the older rulers of Aquarius. So we've had a couple of years with Uranus square Saturn, breaking from the old Saturn, old structures, limitations, to Uranus, which is unconditional, higher self-centred, visionary, individual and sovereign kind of an energy. So this square appears once again at this new moon, and this moon will be taking us to the full moon in Aquarius, so very Aquarian feel to this Leo time of year. And with Uranus square Mercury, what I feel we'll be experiencing in the coming weeks is almost an overload of rapid fire information. Mercury is the processing mind communication, Uranus is the higher mind inspiration, and I don't think it's going to be quiet. I think it's going to be a very hot month. There'll be lots of information coming out. There's a big pull towards alternative media as we're starting to question what is information, what is truth, and whether we're actually being informed to make sovereign decisions or spun a narrative of some sort. So as we've said with the square, breaking from the old to the new, knowing your own thoughts, having your own vision, being independent and unconditioned. And then with the square of Uranus to Mercury, that will be know in your heart what's true, seek the truth. And like I said, that might be through different media channels if we're starting to feel that we're not being given the whole story or a twisted version of it. To work with the square is really useful because it's an awkward aspect where the two planets aren't seeing eye to eye. But I feel with this one we can check our confirmation bias, because sometimes the information we're fed, we have to buy what we're being sold. If you've got a bias already, which is I want to believe this, then you can go and find information sources that confirm that. Doesn't make it true, it's just more comfortable. It's what we've decided that we want to believe, and then going and looking for the validation of that belief. But along the road, and with these particular aspects happening in the next year or so, it's very important to actually have the bravery and the courage and the stamina and the objectivity to let go of any biases and any agendas, so that we don't end up in a bubble of illusion when the truth is something completely different. So I feel this new moon in Leo, with all these Aquarian energies building up to the full moon in Aquarius, is an opportunity to really centre on independent thought, unbiased perception, true truth seeking, and make the small adjustments along the way, whether that's internally to check in with bias and agenda and attachment, or externally to find more reliable sources of information. This would be a very positive use to break through this particular square alignment. On Friday we have Jupiter turning retrograde, and we'll go back into Pisces in October, turn direct in November, and back into Aries on the winter solstice. So Jupiter went into Aries on May the 10th, and that was actually during the beginning of a Mercury retrograde. So we expanded into a new cycle of the zodiac, Aries being the new cycle of the zodiac and Jupiter expanding into. But now we're going back to have a bit of a retrospective, and in October, November we'll be in Pisces waters again. So a retrograde's always an opportunity to go back, revise, recalibrate, make changes. And then by the winter solstice we'll be in the full Aryan energy again and ready to really start the fresh cycle. So this takes me back to the solstice 2020, and that kind of lit the candle on the cake of the age of Aquarius. We had Jupiter and Saturn both go into Aquarius on the winter solstice, which is the rebirth of the sun. So we started these very, very Aquarian times 2 years ago at that point, and to be working with Jupiter to a solstice Aries timeline feels like we are in the second year of a 3-year initiation. So winter 2020, everything started. We've gone through 21 and we've had a massive learning curve on the Aquarian levels, which is be the vibration you want to receive, independence, sovereignty, breaking free. And there's been a lot of help, planetary help along the way there. The difficulties have been specifically in being able to let go of mental control and see the bigger picture, to learn to trust and surrender and follow our intuition, to let go of the micromanaging of every day, but to centre in our heart's vibration and learn to manifest from deep within, change our outside world from the inside, and also keeping up with all the constant changes and the barrage of information that is the internet age. And the internet age is a very Aquarian thing as well. So if we consider this year 2 of a 3-year initiation, then we're actually doing really well, but we're having to relearn how to live really without a roadmap and without a guide. But there's a raising of consciousness with every day, with every challenge that we meet with all of these planetary alignments, that's building to a bigger picture. So although I'm talking about the new moon in Leo and Jupiter turning retrograde, those are this week's cycles, but they do pan forwards to the full moon in Aquarius and to the solstice, but also taking us backwards to when did this phase actually start in earnest. So I hope that makes sense. Do look also where Aquarius is in your chart, because that can show you what your contribution can be in the age of Aquarius, how you can best align with your soul frequency, and how you can best live a unique and authentic life. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, or if you're interested in a personal reading, I am available zoehind7@gmail.com, and we can take a look at all of this and more. Past lives are still very resonant as they're coming up for clearing. Learning astrology and tarot has never been more relevant, as these are very Aquarian arts. So I do offer customised courses where we can go at your own level and pace. And I also offer coaching for any blocks that are coming up and how to go to the root and dig them up so that you can live a more free and peaceful life. So wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.